episode of What Was That? And happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, the most wonderful time of year, I would argue.
I would agree with you. You wouldn't have to argue.
Hell yeah.
I agree with you tenfold. What? Well, this episode's all about mimics. So put on your listening ears because what? Story 1. How to handle something mimicking voices. So I've noticed this happening in my home for the last 4 or so years. There's voices of either my parents or pets that I hear when they're not there. While one was simply my mom's voice soothing our most recent dog, which I believe was a ghost in the house that doesn't like him barking, so they mimicked my mom to calm the mama's boy. Almost all other mimic encounters are outside and at nighttime. For location help, I'm in Michigan, just a bit south of where the Odawa tribes would have been way back in the day. I know there's paranormal beings that I won't mention by name, but I'm unsure all the tribes there are besides the obvious Navajo. These mimics outside have mimicked our current dog, my dad yelling out in pain, and one, they still do, my dog that passed away in 2020. They know I loved her dearly and would run to open the door and get her if she barked, and that instinct is still there. It makes me fearful for her little brother we rescued a year after her passing. It's hard to keep an eye on him at night for nighttime potty as he's a black dog. What could be causing this, and what protections can I do as a medium and witch myself for my family, home, and current dog?
Have you tried saging the house? That's my first thought.
I don't think it's a matter of saging the house. This is a big thing of, correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, flesh pedestrians.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. Hearing them call out. That's a big thing in like Appalachia. If you hear your name or hear somebody call you outside after a certain time, that you're not supposed to listen. So I feel like that would have to do with it more than anything. Being an organ jogger.
Yeah.
Is that a new term?
An organ
your
jogger?
Skin is the biggest organ of your body, so an organ jogger,
Yeah.
maybe?
So, okay, for reference, this is kind of the area that they're talking about being in.
Okay, that's literally where I used to live in Michigan. I lived in which was about 15 minutes south of
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about Michigan, I used to work with a few people from there, and they would always be like, I'm from here. So, where on the mitt?
Where was I on the mitt?
Yeah.
I was like on this side. It was like right here.
Okay.
Yeah, like super right over there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, in range, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
And to call back really quickly on the last episode that we filmed with the cryptids, some of those stories were in Michigan too.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Michigan's
not
just
Michigan,
popping
but
off for...
the last one that we talked to, I think, was in Ohio.
Oh, you're
but
so right.
Super close.
You're so right
to the Michigan border. But yeah, the Midwest has a lot of random shit going on. Like,
yeah.
Gary, Indiana had the infamous, what did they call it? Hell House. Zach Baggins did a whole like movie there. They also just recently did a dramatized movie of that story, of this family that lived in Gary, Indiana, at this house that everyone thinks is a portal to hell.
Oh my God.
And a bunch of crazy stuff happened. Yeah, the Midwest just be
strange stuff happens in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, everybody's got their faults. Like the Midwest kind of has a shit ton of like I can't even say that. I'm like the Midwest and the like coast, the southern coast
Yeah.
has a lot of
Unexplained sightings.
Really weird cryptids.
Yeah, weird forest.
Yeah, and then you get
happenings.
to like the not as bad ones up through the Northeast and then to the West Coast, but you have so many different really gnarly cryptids living in
Right.
that area.
Yeah. So, based on location, yeah, I think you're super right about it being something maybe in that realm.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to. Like,
I mean, mimics obviously are in that realm, but I think mimics are more centralized to people, if I'm not mistaken. Now I feel like I'm just talking out of my ass. What's the difference between Mimi?
I love the graphic.
Reddit says, folklore versus fantasy D&D, you dumb bitch. I'm so sorry
that I
Reddit.
need
Jesus
this to be
Christ.
real so I can do some research.
I'm just trying to figure out what the difference is. Okay, so basically a mimic is
As it sounds.
very, very close to a flesh pedestrian.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I mean, you can get black-eyed children in the same way. I mean, there are a lot of things out there that can mimic other things. And like, I'm pretty sure we talked about this in the first episode, but I mean, I used to hear stuff like that all the time when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would be playing in my room and I'd hear my mom or my dad call me from downstairs, and I'd go over and be like, "Hi, are you home?" No one would answer.
Right.
Or someone would be like, "Yeah," but it would feel really off, and I wouldn't.
How strange that I would respond, but I would feel.
Yeah, because
Huh.
like you can like me. I don't know if everyone can feel this, but I feel like me personally, and I'm positive a lot of other people like feel this way, but you can feel when something, you have that gut intuition, and you're like, something's not right. Like even as a kid, you're like, I don't know if I want to go down there.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
It's weird.
That's
And
the best way to put
yeah.
it. It's just weird.
Well, and then like thinking about the house that I grew up in, it was like in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico. And creepy stuff happens in the middle of nowhere. So I was
That's
like,
why
I was
they
like,
made Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Exactly. But like the voices and things I would hear was like maybe childhood trauma, maybe a mimic, which I think is the more fun answer. I
don't
like
know
to
if I
have.
would word it fun. It is the more interesting answer.
Yes.
Tomato, tomato. Life or death. You toss them up all the time. One of them's entertaining, one of them's not.
You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. That's what my mom would say.
I don't know if that applies.
Life or death, you get what you get. You don't throw a fit.
so true, Queen. You know what? Period.
Yeah.
Stand on business. She
Oh,
said, "Give
I
me a
don't see
mimic
what
that like
anything-
you get what you get. You don't throw a fit." Going back to where it matters. What's causing this? So I think it's a flesh pedestrian. Me personally, I'm not a professional, so don't take my word as gospel. I'm also a practicing witch. I mean, I think the best way that you can protect yourself is obviously do some protection sigils outside of your front door, your back door, protect your windows, like all of the entrances of your house. Don't listen to it, obviously. And just, I mean, it's not your space, but just try to cleanse your space as much as you can. Be as positive and as light as you can.
There are so many different protection wards you can do to protect your physical space. But as for flesh pedestrians go, to my knowledge, there's not really a whole lot you can do to
I think they're just
block
kind of
them out. You
there.
just kind of have to ignore them until they go away, just like a really creepy frat boy. Just make sure to cover your drink.
Cover your drink and don't make eye contact.
Yep, don't answer. Just act like he doesn't exist. Look away.
Story number 2. There may be a mimic in our house. Not at all familiar with the supernatural, if this is indeed what we may be dealing with, which is the explanation we're leaning towards. So this started when my boyfriend was over yesterday. He had picked me up from work and I went to shower. I was drying off and he opened the door and handed me my underwear. I told him I appreciated the gesture, but I had underwear in the bathroom already. He also jokingly snapped with me, "You freaking called me from downstairs to bring you these. You better take them, woman." He seemed silly. I assumed he was joking, so I just took the panties from him and told him to go backstairs. I didn't think much of it. Next thing that happened was a couple hours later. My roommate was getting ready to leave for a date with one of her friends when I heard her calling me from the bedroom to help zip her dress. I trotted over to the bedroom to find nobody there. Only that when I saw her leaving the bathroom, she was wearing jeans and a tank top. Nothing that I had to zip. I told her that I heard her voice coming from the bedroom and she just looked confused. She went in and looked around. Her TV was off, her computer was off. There was just nothing in the room. The next bit came around 11 p.m. My boyfriend and I had been watching Netflix and I had a craving for ice cream, so we drove to get ice cream. After ice cream, we sat and we watched an acoustic show for about an hour and a half before heading home. When I got home, I went to the bedroom and fell asleep watching TV. We woke up around 7 a.m. when he had to leave for work. My roommate was already up and made a joke that we must have been really going at it the way you were shrieking last night.
Huh?
So we did not have sex the night in question. I didn't know what she was talking about, but when we were alone, we discussed what was happening. I was initially the one to draw the strange conclusion based on what was happening. The underwear thing, the dress thing, and the shrieking thing. She's a big believer of this kind of stuff, so she seemed open to the fact. The last bit of weirdness came when we were doing our own evening meditation, both Wiccan, and we could hear speaking from the hallway. It was between 2 people. We broke concentration and listened. I'm not dumb, so I considered it was an intruder. Then, clear as day through the door, we hear, "Night, y'all," and a high-pitched giggle. Both those things are what my roommate does and says when she passes my room when I'm with my boyfriend at night. We lit some sage around the house while saying a prayer. I'm not sure if that'll do any good. We also want to have the house tested for carbon monoxide and mold. And it's totally cool if you read this and don't buy into it, because I'm not 100% sure I would do that either. There is one edit. No carbon monoxide detected in the home. Relieved? ? As of now, we haven't experienced any other phenomenon that we've taken note of, but we're still very much on high alert. Compared to our last story, do we feel like this is more of a paranormal spirit or entity, or do we feel like it's in the same realm of our first story?
I still think it's a flesh pedestrian.
Flesh pedestrians all around.
Personally, or a demon.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, demons could do whatever the fuck they want. They're kind of, can I say that?
Yeah.
Cunty. Like, is that okay to say?
He's gonna tell us we can't.
They're kind of see you next Tuesday-y. Like, go off, demons.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do whatever the fuck they want. So
they run around saying "night, y'all" and giggle.
Exactly. They just want to put you on an edge. They're just kind of trying to zhuzh up your night a little bit.
I just imagine him from the Powerpuff Girls sneaking around their house, being like, "Night, y'all."
Okay, side note for y'all. For Halloween, we have a giant group of friends getting together for a big Halloween party, and we're all being different Powerpuff Girls characters. My partner is going to be him.
I'm Buttercup, and Jasmine's gonna be Miss Bellum, right? Or you're gonna be the mayor.
Okay, well, it depends. It depends on if I want to be hot or silly for Halloween.
You can be hot and silly.
But
it depends if you want to be like only
like just like
hot.
straight up hot.
Yeah, I will warn you. The girlies are bringing it out.
So we're gonna go Miss Bellum and not wear the little mustache like I was.
Yeah, they have pulled out the stops.
Cool.
Katie's gonna be the phone, which is
I'm so excited
super
for that
fucking
costume.
yeah. I'm like, period.
Yeah,
that's iconic.
It is
iconic. Love you, Katie.
We'll have to get a picture with her, me and Lee, because we all work in the same office.
You have to like put your hands on it. Yeah, no, I definitely think it's flesh pedestrian or a demon. Those would be my only two options. Which again, it's like, please protect yourself.
Well, in this, go back to episode 1 because I'm not going to keep telling her story. But we have had things on this podcast that have already been talked about, where I know people who are having something similar, and for them it was a demon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Catholic pre-subscription.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna patent that. Just if you guys are wondering, if you want a Catholic priest to come to your house once a month just to give you a good little check-in.
Yeah.
We know a guy. I can't keep slouching. I feel like a shrimp. And my sister, she had a baby, and I took her baby, and then he had no legs, and now I just have to take care of her son, and we just have no money and no food, and I'm dead. I actually don't know the monologue, but I do love it so much.
I don't know the monologue clearly because I thought you knew it.
No, I don't. I know like the first part of it, but I don't. Now I have to like meet. Hold on. It's true. And the other thing, my sister had a baby, and I took it over after she passed away, and the baby lost its legs and arms, and now it's just a stump, and I take care of it with my wife, and it's growing fairly happy, and it's difficult because I'm working a second shift at the factory to put food on the table, but all the love that I see in this little guy's face makes it all worth it in the end. True story.
I want to start ending everything I say with true story.
It's true. So this was the story. So I went to the gas station, and this guy said, "What the fuck?" True story.
Yeah, you have to do it in the voice. Otherwise, it's probably not even true, and people won't believe it.
Anyway, back to the story. I really think that it's one of the two. As a professional in this field, certified, I went to college for it, got my doctorates, my PhD in creepyology.
Yeah, and I've been on 4 episodes of a podcast, so
that's a lot of experience.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really impressive. Man, it must be a really good podcast. So only like bad bitches would listen to that podcast.
The baddest, I would say.
Yeah, thanks. Story 3. This is the longest one, so bear with us.
Buckle up, bitches.
I heard my own voice answering my child. Mimic? My family took a weekend trip, rented a cute older cabin next to a Midwestern lake, and had a blast. 2 adults and 2 kids under 6 and under. It was the kids' first time splashing around someplace that wasn't a bathtub or pool. The cabin had a modern kitchen, a redone bathroom, 2 bedrooms that were almost untouched, awkward proportions, and a large enclosed porch-type room with a wall of originally drafty-seeming windows. All was well aside from the uneasy knowledge that we would be seen when it was dark outside and had the lights on. Our last night there, my partner and younger child were already asleep and one door closed. I was packing our random stuff that I knew we might miss in the morning. My older babe was laying down, being snuggly, and asking me to keep the light on when I left the room to continue packing. I turned on the soft glow lamp, climbed on the bed to give hugs and kisses, and we were both still saying good night, night-night,
I love you too, as I was closing the door behind me so that the rustling around didn't keep them awake. The door was mid close when I said one last, I love you, heard my child responding, I love you, and then, like a stutter step across there, you. I distinctly heard my own voice, my tone, my cadence say, good night, honey. I flung that door open, my baby already facing the wall, cuddly and unbothered. I decided not to say anything in the moment, wake up my partner, but I was scared. I kept the bedroom door open, finished packing ASAP with my eye on my sleeping baby, and decided to imagine light expanding over me and around my family and was able to sleep. My partner has spoken to me several times in our own home. One time, I knocked over the door when they were in the shower and spoke through the door. These happened over several years, and it was not ever me. This was the first time I heard myself. It was several weeks ago, and I still feel like I'm processing. No drugs, alcohol, or experience with visual or auditory hallucinations. I appreciate this space to share. And there are multiple updates.
Okay.
Obviously, this is a demon.
Yeah. I'm gonna say solidly. I think we're gonna have a counter of the amount of times we're like, that's a demon.
That's a demon.
Yeah.
It'll just be a whole new channel where we're just like, is this a demon or not? And most of the time, I would say 97% of the time, it's a demon.
Yeah.
No, but I'm being so serious. I genuinely, really, really do think that it would be some sort of demonic spirit. Now, which one? That's a great question. There are quite a few different demons that can mimic voices. There are so many different types of demons that all have different really horrifying things about them, but also really cool things.
Yeah.
Also really horrifying things. So that's just what I'm going to say first off, is that it's a demon.
1000%. I do think it's a demon. And then, like, reading back, this has happened over the last several years.
And her husband has heard it multiple times.
Yeah.
So it's not just her hearing it.
How unsettling to, like, hear your own voice in that situation and be like, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
That was not me.
Insane. I don't even know what I would do.
I honestly would gaslight myself and be like, I guess I did say that out loud.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm just tired. See, I feel like I'd be the same way. Like,
Yeah.
I just gaslight myself and be like, nope, I must have said it. I just didn't realize. Because I do that already. I'll think I say something out loud, like in the opposite way. I think that I'll say something, but I don't.
Yeah.
I like say it internally, or I mean, I guess it happens the other way too. I'll say something internally, but I actually say it out loud, and people are like, "What?" And I'll be
I
like,
do that a lot too. Yeah.
I said that. With
I
my
didn't
mouth.
realize, like, I won't say all of what my thought is. I'll just say parts of it. And someone had to tell me, "Is like, you need to say more words.
You have to elaborate, expand on that.
Like, you didn't
'cause
say
I don't
all of
understand.
what I saw you thinking. You didn't say all of it."
First update. Thank you for the affirmation. We are a pro-science and pro-mental health family. Together with my partner, we've tried to consider logical and worldly explanations. I am older, so past the usual age of onset for most mental health issues, although I know sometimes our brains can be jerks. My partner is a serious and measured person, a former Catholic who left organized religion when they reached the age of reason. They were confused and shaken when I was there and speaking to them several times over the years. In the moment, after their experiences, my significant other asked me if I was sure I didn't forget about knocking on the door and talking to them or calling to them from an empty room. After a bit, my significant other would say, "Come on now, you're fucking with me, right? Right? Nope." Today we discussed the cabin again. I hadn't brought it up since telling my significant other about it in the car on the drive home. What bothers me is that I heard the voice overlap with my child. I heard the other two voices at once. Not the baby saying goodnight and then pitching their voice lower or something. It was distinct and full voice, not a bizarre echo, 10 seconds late with an extra word, honey, in the room. Not from outside, windows closed, my tone, timbre, and warmth. It's been weeks. I haven't heard or seen anything amiss. My child is very sensitive and sweet. I've been keeping an extra eye on them as well. I've go I'm going to think about how to approach this. I use tarot but not for divination, just for building intuition, and began 3 years ago. I feel comfortable with my cards. I have Santa Palo, Pinion Wood, and Blue Sage. I have upbeat music. Colloquially, how does someone pick up something like this? Would it always be considered malicious? When I meditate, I make clear that I turn my intention to light, love, wisdom, and protection and respect. I extend light from my mind over my family and home, simply as meditative grounding practice I'm trying to build. This became a ramble. Thanks for reading and considering my love. So that actually was the last update. I thought there were multiple, but just one.
I'm glad that they are being a bit proactive about it. It sounds like they are a bit more scientific in their approach for answers for things generally, but not everything can be explained, including kind of what's been going on with them. So I do appreciate that they're open and trying different things to keep their family protected.
Yeah. I'm really glad that their significant other is so open to listening.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a thing that we see so much in horror movies and throughout history and time of people reporting paranormal activity, is that they see, like, the woman typically is always the crazy one. She's making it up. She's just having a fit.
She's hysterical.
She's going crazy. She needs to be committed and lobotomized.
Yeah, a lot of these comments are being like, you should go to a psychologist or a neurologist.
Yes! Immediately blame the woman. That's so incredible. Shut the f*** up, Redditors.
Other people, sounds like you may have picked up a spirit attachment, and it's not a nice one at that.
Yeah. I agree. It's crazy to me that people can jump immediately to mental health when...
Right, obviously you're crazy.
Yeah, but OP's husband literally has experienced this too.
Right.
So it's not just one person experiencing it, and she has said multiple times, like, she's made sure that, like, she is healthy, body, mind, and soul. She does a lot to protect her family. So,
and this has happened multiple times
with
it's
multiple people.
So at this point, it's like,
you got a demon, babe. I am so sorry that you are going through that.
It sounds really scary.
That sounds really scary, especially with kids involved. And I mean, you're already doing so much with, like, your meditation and your affirmations and mantras with spreading light and positivity. I think...
Yeah, definitely keep that up, though.
Yeah, maybe see a psychic medium if you can, and see if they can pick anything up on that. Yeah, I guess that's not very helpful information now, is it? I hope you're hungry for nothing. I want to use that all the time. Yes, give us nothing. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining on our 4th episode of What Was That? We appreciate you guys again for listening for another episode. It's been 1 month officially now that we've been on here.
Yeah, exciting stuff. If you've missed any episodes, go back and listen to them. But our plan is to continue posting weekly. So keep an eye out and make sure you're subscribed.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Hump day. Best day of the
week. TikTok, YouTube, follow us on Reddit, post on our Reddit page, email us any way you want to contact us, as long as it's not
weird.
Happy Halloween.
Oh yeah,
Let's
check
make
our
another
spooky.
note. Another note. Happy Halloween. Yeah. Anyway, until next time. Wait. What was that?